Are you ready to lose weight as fast as possible?
Wow, that's a good clickbait right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to show you something that we talked about on the podcast recently, and people didn't understand what we meant by this. So we've known for a long time that undulating your training program and your workouts are super beneficial for adaptation purposes and seeing consistent change in your physique. So we know that with weight training. We speculated quite some time ago that the importance of doing this with your food is probably the same, and you're starting to see more and more studies come out with this.
You are. Now, here's what we're talking about in essence. Now, the bottom line is in order to lose weight, you have to take in less calories than you're burning. This is a fact. It's actually one of the rules of thermodynamics.
Yes.
But there's a couple different ways you can approach this, and if you just look at things from a calories in versus calories out perspective, it shouldn't make any difference how you get that calorie deficit, right? In other words, if I eat less calories every single day and I have a 1,000 calorie deficit, or if I average that out for the whole week and my food is up and down, it should all equal out to the same. Well, that's actually not quite true. They've actually done some studies where they've compared, let's use a fictional character here.
Yeah, let's explain what this is.
Okay, so we have an individual who needs 3,000 calories a day to maintain their weight. In other words, if they eat 3,000 calories a day, they won't lose any weight. And what they're trying to aim for is a 1,000 calorie deficit every single day on average.
These are total arbitrary numbers, mind you. Like, we're just throwing numbers out there to make an example. So we're not telling somebody they should get a 1,000 calorie deficit. That's not necessarily what we do.
This is just for example. Now, a lot of people will do this, and the way a lot of diets are set up to where that person would eat 2,000 calories every single day. And that's what this first option looks like. So 2,000 calories a day, 1,000 calorie deficit every day. At the end of the week, 7,000 calorie deficit. That should equate to 2 pounds of fat or whatever. Or you have the second option where every day looks a little bit different. Now, on some days, you're going to be eating a much smaller deficit when you're having 2,500 calories or 2,600 calories. Or maybe one day you're even in a little bit of a surplus, but you make up for it on other days. At the end of the week, you have the same calorie deficit of 7,000. Now, studies are showing that you will lose the same amount of body fat. However, you may hold on to more muscle by undulating your calories, and over time, your body is less likely to slow its metabolism down to adapt.
And I know we use these numbers as an example, but these are kind of close to my numbers. And I typically, what I would do is I would have a day that would even go over my caloric maintenance by about 10 or 20%. So I would actually have a day that would push up as high as 3,200, but then I would come back down low.
So you'd have like a high calorie day.
Yeah, so I'd actually have like a high calorie day in there. Trying to get the benefits of like spiking leptin by increasing my carbohydrate intake. And because holding on to muscle and building muscle is also a priority of mine, aside from just leaning out and losing body fat.
And what happens when you are consistently dieting and at a constant deficit is your metabolism actually starts to adapt. And we've seen athletes who've come to us and wanting to train with us who have metabolic damage. These are female clients, 150 pounds, who are doing 2 hours of exercise every single day, only eating 1,000 calories, and anything over that, they gain weight. Well, that's not supposed to happen. Their metabolism has really slowed down and adapted in that direction.
This is very common in the bodybuilding community. So you talk about women's bikini, men's physique, bodybuilding world, and a lot of it is because these coaches, they have tons of athletes, 40, 50 different competitors, maybe more underneath them, and they kind of give them similar type plans. They put them in large caloric deficits, they prescribe high volume training, followed by tons of cardio involved, and then what ends up happening is people see great results when they come out the gates, and then what ends up happening, the body becomes efficient at it. And because they threw the whole kitchen sink at the body right away, there's not a lot of room to go, so what ends up happening is they end up pushing more. Okay, now we're doing 3 hours of cardio every day, and now we're restricting down to 1,000 calories a day in order just to see change, until you finally get to a point where the body kind of says, F you, I don't like this.
Yeah. And really the reality is, if you're eating at a deficit all the time, your metabolism will slow down and try to adapt. This method here, the second method, where your calories are changing every day, but at the end of the week you're averaging the same deficit, is going to be more effective at preventing that from happening. We call it undulating your calories. This is the way that I prescribe or I recommend to my clients that they eat when they're trying to lose weight. You know, instead of eating the same amount of calories every single day, let's have some high calorie days, let's have some lower calorie days. Now, of course, you still got to eat healthy. So this doesn't mean you're eating garbage. It doesn't replace that. But if you want to kind of prevent that metabolism slowing down process that happens every single time you try a diet for long periods of time, we recommend giving this a shot. Undulate your calories, watch what happens. Now, we drop a video every single day, so subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends. Also, check out our podcast on iTunes, Mind Pump.